Carlos King, you are petty and foul, in my opinion. It's not our fault. You are a blogger. Dr. Simone may have been the first to just call it what it is, but you're a blogger. And I guess right now you're scrambling because I know you had already struck my Big Sis Chit Chats channel, and I'm seeing something else floating around from last night about you striking people's channel. You're fighting a losing battle, especially when it comes to YouTube. I'm not going to describe how, but you're working against a machine. And that's why I feel like this is so petty. You will cover every show, but the one that requires you to have the most accountability. You will run away so fast from where you need to be held accountable the most. You go out of your way to not say anything. And even for a lot of people that don't care for Dr. Heavenly, if she didn't bring it up at all, we wouldn't even have heard just a little bit about anything when y'all do your reviews on the show you're not a part of, but yet you have shows you're a part of. You are uber salty that your usual antics are no longer getting away. They're not getting you by. And you're scrambling. You don't know what to do with that. The flattery is falling flat. Your usual antics did not work at the Millimeter event, disguised as your live podcast, because let's be serious. From the people that were there in person, I heard about the drizzles. They weren't up for you like that. That was millimeters in that house. And you didn't like that your feet were held to the fire over and over. You didn't get to just flatter and move on. No, between the intellectual, strategic Melody Cherie Rogers and the millimeters, you had to keep staying on topic. There was no straying away from the topic. Maybe you should have come prepared instead of just making a mocking voice every time you would say something that we may have said. Maybe if you actually studied or got yourself up on some things, you'd have been more prepared to actually take accountability. But of course you still wouldn't have, because you still don't get it. You get it, but you do what benefits you. Oh, you understand, but you don't want to do anything about it. You don't actually want to address it. It's not our fault that you continue to play the I don't know card. Oh, I didn't know this was happening. Oh my gosh, had I known. Oh, I don't have kids, so I didn't know. No, Ninja, you knew. In my opinion, you knew. Especially with you being here with the YouTube bloggers as a blogger yourself, because you're a blogger too. If we know and we are not a part of the show, you knew. You know. You probably knew long before us, obviously, because we're going to find out late. You're going to know in almost real time if you're not there in person. We cannot take you seriously. And I'm not saying we just millimeters. I mean we that take our craft seriously, period. We as decent human beings. We as people with real discernment cannot and do not take you seriously. In my opinion, you are a pathetic enabler, and you go for everything 6 ways to Sunday except for anything that's actually for the right side. And I mean, dang, at least on the legal part of the right side. And yes, I'm going to bring it up again, and it will stay brought up until you do right. And even then after, I will still use you as a case study. There were many times that you should have taken more accountability. But one of the biggest ones will always be the Revenge P plot. At some point you did know, in my opinion. And even if there's no way, like beyond a reasonable doubt, that can be proven, you knew once we knew. You knew then. There is no denying that part. You allegedly harbor criminals. I've never seen a boss sitting in their cloffice, that's his closet office, y'all, in case you don't know, windmills so hard for alleged AB users, criminals, and everything else, but for the people that deserve it. Are you not tired? Are your arms not tired? And from one of the things that you said, shout out to Show Style and Spirit, because she will kind of break down when you're with Dr. Heavenly. One of the things she said you let slip, but you cut yourself off. is that the higher ups are getting on your behind. You deserve it. I wish they had done it a long time ago. And I hope they're continuing to do it. I hope they don't let up, because you should be held accountable. You know what's going on, and you're turning a blind eye, deaf ear, everything, in my opinion. You go mute, in my opinion. If you are already in therapy, fire your therapist. Get a new one. Get a new one that will actually hold you accountable and examine why you sit here and not only attract, but once they're there in your presence, you admire, you enable, you do everything for mostly the men that are toxic and allegedly are AB users. You coddle them. Look at the picture on the screen. This is you crying for an AB user. Look at the tears just streaming and flowing. Carlos, you are whack as hell. We do not respect you in any of your roles that you fulfill. And you, I will say, came up with us to be a blogger, because it's not a down, it's a up. Bloggers get crazy opportunities, and the right ones do some excellent work. You are trying to be us because out of your own mouth, you asked DJ Richie Scott to show you the ropes. You were trying to mimic or embody a blogger. And then you come over into our world and you strike channels because you're salty. Because from the time of, at minimum, Martell's Instagram post that addressed you, which I still don't know if that was part of some plan between y'all, but either way, you started being held accountable for people outside of us talking about it. And then you really felt it because it was in person, that energy in the room of the live podcast where Melody held you accountable, the Mellometers held you accountable, and the people in the middle, I feel, held you accountable too. Do not come to people. And no, I'm not over there watching. I was sent it a couple times, and I don't want that mess. But do not come to us with your stupid Sunday lessons when you're not just being a decent human being or a boss, in my opinion. We don't want to hear that crap. We don't want your words of the day. We want you to do right. We judge you by the fruit that you bear. We do not care about the lip service that you give to the crowd. Do better. Take the actual actions and make it a pattern to do better. Then we'll see. Because these antics, they're not fooling us. And again, let me be very specific. The us is not just Mellometers. It is decent human beings that you are not fooling. All we see you do is aid and abet hostile work environments. That's what we see you do. That's the works we know you for. Judge you by your works, that's the works we know you for. It's pitiful, pathetic, and petty. And I won't even say we're tired of it. We just clearly see you, and we will continue to see you. There is nowhere to hide. Do your job or your jobs. And as Anonymous T said, you are ruining your legacies. You're ruining them. Everything your name is attached to is marred, is tainted, because it leads back to you allegedly aiding and abetting criminal activities, hostile work environments. And that's on you, because people have come to you to try to make it known. And you know, again, we see the actions you chose to take after you knew. And even if you try to claim ignorance of the fact, you knew once we all knew. I'm going to keep repeating that because months passed after that point that we knew, and you continue to do nothing except whine and complain about the Love and Marriage Huntsville topic when you talk about other topics because you want to get it out, but you don't really want to address it. You want to hopscotch in real fast to say something, but you don't really want to address it. Address it. Take accountability and address it with your actions. I don't even mean your words. I want to see actions, and I want to see a lot of them. I want to see a pattern. And yes, I know as I'm saying this, he doesn't owe me anything, but he knows. He knows what he's supposed to be doing. But you are real messed up for the people that are just giving their opinion and holding you accountable for striking channels. You are so foul. You are the chaotic blogger. You are disappointing. And for everyone that got to the end of this video, we're moving in silence. So I understand what y'all may want to do as an individual, but most of us as content creators, we will just move how we move. We will continue to move in silence as Melody advised us. So whatever you choose to do, just do that. But please do not put your demands of what you want us to do on us. Everybody is an individual, and we will handle this and a lot of the other things accordingly. And it will all build to one movement that will be impossible to stop. So, y'all do what's in your heart when it comes to all of this and allow us content creators to be creative and move how we're going to move. That's all I have for now on Carlos King. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.